Now, the Bank of England raises interest rates for the first time in over a decade. We come in at 50 basis points from 0.25% previously. The vote comes in as follows, 7-2 to dissent. So rates come in changed, hiked by 25 basis points to 0.5% from 0.25% previously. The Bank of England voting 7-2 to keep rates higher by 25 basis points. I want to cross over to London very quickly and get your update on some of the detail in this decision and the reasons for some of that dissent as well, and not just the reason behind the hike. I want to cross over to Bloomberg's Guy Johnson, who joins us from the city. Guy, 7-2, it's a hike to 50 basis points. What's the reason behind it, the 7, and what's the reason behind the 2?
2, that's Ramsden and Cunliffe both voting to keep rates at 0.25, John. The interest rate decision widely speculated, widely talked about, and they've delivered the 50. I think the reason is pretty simple from a Bank of England point of view. They'd backed themselves into a corner. I heard Danny Blanchflower talking about the fact that the market had anticipated, and would the bank actually be paying attention to that? I think it probably did. And the reason behind it, I think, is one that inflation, be it pass-through inflation, it is running above target. The economy maybe not as big as one would have hoped for, and as a result of which maybe the supply of slack in the economy is not as big as anticipated, and as a result of which they've gone. I think the 7-2 is interesting, John. The expectation was it was going to be 6-3. The fact that it was slightly more in favour of that rate hike coming through, I think, is interesting, and it'll be interesting to see whether the market speculates about where we go from here. Interestingly enough, John, pound is ticking lower on the back of this.
Yeah, I find this really fascinating.